Alright guys, so in this section we are going to discuss about XXE, that is XML external entity injection concept, and finding any vulnerability. We should know about the concept of that vulnerability so that we can find and we can earn the money. So let me start with this, that what is XXE. So it is known as XML external entity injection. Now the question is, what is XML? So XML is nothing but a extensive markup language, and we'll make sure that we will tell you about this one in a detailed manner. So it is a web security vulnerability that allows an attacker to interfere with an application's process of XML data. So basically there is some XML data and they are allowed an attacker to interfere with an application's processing. So it often allows an attacker to view files on the application server file system and to interact with any backend or external system that the application itself can access. In some situations, an attacker can escalate an XSE attack to compromise the underlying server or other backend infrastructure by leveraging the XSE vulnerability to form SSRF. You can see here I have a highlighted server SSRF attack. So I will tell you about server side attack, what it is, SSRF. Okay, so now I can directly say that by reading this theory, it's not going to work. You can't understand by reading this theory. Let me tell you some of the practical way from the basic. So what is XML? I'm starting from the XML so that you can understand the base of this one. So XML is nothing but a extensible markup language and structured syntax. So you can see the structured syntax here, right? There is a syntax of this one, and it is designed to be human readable as well as machine readable. So in HTML, in HTML you can't you can say you can't create your own tags. But the difference is between XML and HTML is that in XML you can create your own tags. So if you can see make, model, these are the not a predefined tags. Tags. These are the tags which is human made. Now there is some grammar, you can say a grammar of XML which is known as DTD, document type definition. There is some particular definition, there is some particular structure through which we write the XML query. So used for defining XML document structure, as I said, and DTD can also be defined outside of the XML file external. So this one is very important concept. Make sure you keep remember this one, external one. I will tell you that how. Now it is represented in this way: doc type, root element, or element declaration, and then close. Okay. Still there will be lot of confusion, right? So as far as we will uh, keep going in this video, I will definitely you are going to understand that what is XSE. Now here, if you can see, entities are used to define shortcuts to any other text. Now types of entities. So here we are discussing the types of entities, that is internal, external, or can be the parameter. So in the internal were entity defined within the local DND. So if you can see here is entity. Now this is the grammarly, this will be always be there. This is a syntax, you can say directly. Entity foo bar, right? If you can see, it is in the double column. So this entity can referred within XML as and foo, and it will be replaced with the term bar. Now, second one is very interesting one, which definitely which is R for our interest. External entity defined outside of local entity, local DTD. So if you can see entity foo system, now there is a file system which we are going to exploit, from where which we want whether there any file is present or not. So this the practically will be I will show you. So don't worry about that. And the last one, parameter can only be used within a DND, DTD, used with percent symbol. So you can see this one. Now still there will be some queries. So let me clear with those things with an example of XEE. So the first one, let's say we have this code, right? This code is XML code, right? And we have our own query, this one which is I have highlighted. Doc type foo entity XXE. This is test. Now let's say you assume that the last name is vulnerable. So what you will do, you have defined one of the value here, correct? So you have defined this value here. And what was the XXE value? If you tell if I ask about that, what is the value of this XXE, then it is, this is test. Now where you are finding the vulnerability for this one, you are just keeping here last name. So make sure that there should not be any grammatical mistake. It always written in this way, at dollar $xxe, ampersand xxe, and semicolon. So now what would be the result? So if you can imagine, what would be the result if I am keeping this here, ampersand xse, it will call the value of this one. This is test. So if you are a programmer and you have a little bit knowledge of XML, then you can very easily understand these things. But you don't know about XML, don't worry about this, that just try to understand here that see here, I have defined XXC as this is a test. Now I'm going to call it in the last name, right? So in place of last name, what is going to come? And XXC. And what is the value of and XXC? That is, this is test. Now let me show you the result. So you can see here, hello John, right? So John is firstly here, and what is the last name? And XXE. Why and XXE didn't come? Because it has been already defined. This the value is, this is a test. So I hope now I can say that I am able to make you understand. But still, there is need some clarification. There is need some confirmation so that you can understand it much more. So let me uh, clarify it more. So if you can see here, we have an attacker, right? We have an attacker, and there is some server, you can say, and we get to know that yeah, there is some XSC. So we have given our payload with entity XXE system file etc password. Now what is calling, if I'm giving the XXE in the product ID, what it is calling? It is calling this file etc password. Whether there is any file, whether is there anything in this XXE. So once I will hit enter, it will give me some different types of directory where I can get to know, yeah, whether it's vulnerable, where there is anything available, where there is some password or not. So you can say the sensitive data, where I can get to know about the sensitive data. So this is how it works, but it will be more clear in the lab part. So we'll meet in the next video with the types of XXE, and then I will show you that how actually we can exploit this.